On the humid night of August 21st, 1955, in the rural hills of Christian County, Kentucky, two families, the Suttons and the Taylors, experienced a night of prolonged terror. It began when Billy Ray Taylor went to the backyard well for a drink and saw a bright, silver object streak across the sky and land in a nearby gully. He ran inside, but the others laughed off his flying saucer story. The laughter died minutes later when the family dog began barking frantically and then cowered under the porch. Looking out the back door, the men saw a strange, glowing figure approaching the house. It was roughly 3 feet tall, with an oversized head, huge luminous eyes, and spindly arms ending in talons. Its skin had a metallic sheen that shimmered in the moonlight. Terrified, Billy Ray and Elmer Lucky Sutton grabbed a 20-gauge shotgun and a .22 rifle. As the creature reached the screen door, they fired through the mesh at point-blank range. The entity was knocked backward, but to their horror, it didn't fall. Instead, it did a backflip, stood up, and scampered off into the darkness with a sound like bullets rattling in a metal bucket. For the next several hours, the farmhouse was under siege. The entities, which the press later dubbed the Hopkinsville Goblins, seemed to be playing a deadly game. They appeared at the windows and on the roof. When Lucky Sutton stepped onto the porch, a clawed hand reached down from the gutter and touched his hair. He fired upward, but the creature simply floated to the ground. The men realized that their weapons were useless. Every time they scored a direct hit, they heard a metallic pinging sound, and the creatures would simply float or roll away, seemingly unharmed by lead. The goblins didn't walk so much as float. They had a strange, swaying gait and used their long arms to steady themselves against the trees in the house. At 11 p.m., the 11 people in the house, including 5 terrified children, piled into 2 cars and raced to the Hopkinsville police station. The officers were stunned by the sheer terror on their faces. Police Chief Russell Greenwell later noted that these were not people prone to hoaxes. They were hard-working folks who were genuinely traumatized by something they had seen. A massive task force of local police, state troopers, and military police from Fort Campbell returned to the farm. They found evidence of the gunfight, shattered windows and holes in the screen doors. They also noted strange luminous patches on the ground and heard a scuttling sound in the woods. However, the creatures themselves remained hidden while the authorities were present. As soon as the police left at 2 a.m., the goblins returned. The siege continued until dawn. One entity stared through a window at Mrs. Sutton for several minutes, its huge eyes pulsing with a soft, yellowish light. Only when the first rays of the sun hit the Kentucky hills did the creatures finally retreat into the gully, where the silver craft had supposedly landed. The Air Force Project Blue Book investigated the case but officially dismissed it as escaped circus monkeys or great horned owls. The families were insulted. They knew the difference between a bird and a 3-foot-tall metallic man that survived shotgun blasts. The owl theory failed to explain the silver craft, the metallic sounds, or the coordinated multi-hour siege. The Kelly-Hopkinsville encounter is a story of the invulnerable guests. It is the terrifying reality of a night where modern weapons failed against a primitive-looking threat. The families eventually moved away, tired of the ridicule and the tourists, but they never changed their story. To them, the goblins weren't a myth. They were the monsters that came to their door. Today, the incident is a cornerstone of UFO lore, often cited as one of the most credible close encounters due to the number of witnesses and the police documentation. It remains a mystery of the metallic men, a reminder that in the dark corners of rural America, the distance between our world and another might be as thin as a screen door in the middle of August.